Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today I'm excited to get to share with you the monsters of the Geonosian arena from the designers Classic Bricks and Lewis. In minifig scale we have an Acklay, a Reek, and a Nexu. Each were coaxed into taking out our main characters Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme, but none were successful. The scene is reminiscent of an ancient Roman gladiatorial style fight, with, instead of tigers and bears, our contestants must fight wild beasts of different worlds. Now, triumphing over monsters is a consistent motif found in Star Wars, with the Geonosian arena fight maybe being one of the most iconic examples in the whole story. At the same time, it is probably one of the most dramatic ways to kick off a full-scale war, as this was technically the first battle to begin the Clone Wars, or at least it led up to it. Classic Bricks and Lewis did an excellent job at turning these creatures and the arena columns into brick form, and if you're interested in building these for yourself, you can get the instructions at our web store, BrickVault.toys. With each instructions purchase comes a PDF, step-by-step guide, and digital parts list to upload for ordering your pieces online. All of our models are hand-tested for strength. The instruction steps are troubleshot for clarity, and parts for the model are chosen so they can be found more easily. Buying instructions from us is an excellent way to help support our channel and the talented designers that we work with, like Classic Bricks and Lewis. You might remember Classic's design of the Wookiee catamaran, or Lewis's AATs and Delta 7s. Remember, that is BrickVault.toys. Click that link in the description below if you want to get started, and back to the builds. The monsters look great together as a trio, but I will focus on one at a time for a closer look at specific details. The tallest of the three, and arguably the scariest, is the amphibious crustacean reptilian Acklay. This thing apparently lived in water and then would run up onto land to catch prey that was close by, which is a terrifying prospect if you lived on the planet this thing was from. The designers added a minifigure hand to the upside down grill on the face, so the Acklay could have that little dangly thing under its chin. Apparently that can sense electrical pulses from living creatures, similar to like how a hammerhead shark works. The head of the Acklay reminds me of a queen alien for that matter, and I like that single white round stud to imply teeth. The builders remembered the smaller claws on the front two legs, which is a fun touch, and there's also a nice little tail that is sticking out of the back. At minifig scale, this creature still has a lot of posability. It can rear up on its back legs for a strike, which I think looks pretty excellent with Obi-Wan running away, and the Acklay I think just registers maybe the best from afar, but you can be the judge of that. Now, moving down in size, we still have quite a large Reek. The Reek is like a combination of a rhino and a bear. The sad backstory of this creature is that they are normally tan or gray and just eat plants, but for the arena, the Reek is starved and forced to become a carnivore, and only the severely underfed versions of this creature have red markings along the face and chest like seen here. The Lego model does a great job at capturing the wide stance of the legs though. From a design perspective, it would have been much easier to build a bulkier animal like this with arms and legs that simply face forward and have less axes to move. But this is where I say it gets that bear-like influence when you look at the animal. The general shape of the body somewhat diminishes in the back. There's a nice big hump just behind the head for the shoulders, and the legs and arms can stretch out a bit. The Lego model has tons of great articulation here. The head moves a little. The limbs can all move quite a bit, and this model can rear up, which looks believable. Plus, there is a mid-charging pose that works too. In order to get the legs working the way that they do, the designers used some fairly unique pieces like blaster guns and droid bodies. All right, now let's get to the last creature. We are looking at the Nexu. All descriptions say it is cat-like or feline, and sure, that is a foundational inspiration, no question, but there are also porcupine-like spines on its back a split, long, rat-looking tail, spider-like infrared eyes, and a mouth that makes me think of the Cheshire Cat if they had a horror movie version of Alice in Wonderland. Oh, never mind, too late. At fig scale, the builders managed to communicate a lot here. The levers are wedged into the grill piece that registers well as spines on the back. That clipped on fig hand shows a split tail, and there is a bit of gray thrown in to loosely imply some striping or patchy colored fur. Also, that head is nice and wide and round. Bits of the tail move. The legs can move along with the front shoulders. There is a rearing position that you can get to that I think looks fairly decent. Also, you'll notice the head can turn and tilt a little, which is fun. The Nexu can get to a good-looking striking pose, but the ready to pounce pose is my personal favorite for this model. Now, it is not an easy task to keep these creatures at their smaller sizes here and still include some of these very unique features, but they look especially good when you pose them with some of the figs and the 4 columns. It all comes together really well, and by the way, the columns have a nice simple shape to them, very round, and you can get pretty close to recreating some of these main action scenes. By the way, if you were building this yourself, the columns are separate from the creatures, and you can even separate the columns if you didn't want to build all 4. I like this pose here the best, though. It's perhaps not chronologically, but it is all kind of happening simultaneously, but you can get a bit of everything here, and this is how we are probably going to keep these guys displayed in the studio for the foreseeable future. Remember, if you wanted to build these creatures for yourself, the instructions can be found at our web store, BrickVault.toys. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, or share. Of course, let me know what types of other projects you'd like to see in the future. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.